This is FanStream Sports.
Can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Yes! Here we go!
I guess I want to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about my pants.
It's time for the Colby Sapp and IndyCarTim show. By the way, real quick, off the bat, if you like this show, then like the damn show. The little thumbs up thing. Comment down below. Do it.
If you don't, do it anyway.
Yeah, that'd be greatly appreciated. If you're listening to the recorded podcast, then go ahead and you can still comment with us by using the text line, FanStream Sports text line, 214-937-0569. Tim, you're going to have to move that paper to over there if I'm going to continue to sit here, because I cannot remember that number. I would throw it to Tim and ask him how he's doing.
Nobody cares how I'm doing, Colby. There's bigger things to get to here.
But it's been a little bit, and there's a lot of crap that's happened in DFW, and I've got to get some things off my chest, and it's going straight into it. It's the trade of Luka Doncic.
Who?
And yeah, I know everybody's heard everything, and you're like, I'm so fed up. And the way they're treating fans is well, it's damn near Nazi way of thinking of just trying to, it's not there yet. They're not like killing people and being super evil, but just trying to mandate exactly how the fans are supposed to feel about this and show their emotions. It's terrible. But I want to take this all the way back to when Nico was hired. And this is why I'm frustrated. Because when Nico was hired, what was sold to us as a fan base was that he had the player's ear, right? Mm-hmm. Coming from Nike, he had the player's ear, and he was able to use his lines of communication to be able to attract free agents to the Dallas Mavericks.
Because of his background.
Yeah. And I thought at the time that you have a player's coach in Jason Kidd and possibly a player's GM in a league that's basically ran by the players. This is either going to be amazing, or it's got too much good that it ends up being bad. Right. And it could go either of two ways. I did not expect that with one single move, your GM would cause question marks to form over every possible free agent's head in the entire NBA when it comes to regards to the Dallas Mavericks. Because you took a player, and not because he wasn't doing stuff for you on the court, but because he wasn't quite listening to you with what you wanted him to do off the court, and it wasn't getting in trouble. Right. It was just he wasn't listening. That you cost that man quite a bit of money, and to think that that's going to, make everybody want to come here in free agency, that's not. But then you get to the trade itself and how it happened. We're not even talking about that you took a generational superstar and you traded him and nobody else would even think to do that. Right?
Right.
Not even going to talk about that. But the fact that we have our sports spies, right? Our guys are embedded reporters that are saying that the Lakers would have offered more to you if you would have just let them talk to Luka. But you didn't let them talk to Luka, so they could secure a contract, so they would have a reason to give you more.
Right.
You also didn't talk to other teams. And why did you not talk to other teams? Because you didn't want it to get out that you were trying to trade Luka.
Because you want Luka to find out.
Because you didn't want Luka to find out. Now, if you look at it, there may be a myriad of reasons why you wouldn't tell Luka that you were going to trade him. But I think it may be one exact reason, at least it's what I think it is that you were trying to hurt Luka. You were trying to shock and awe Luka. You were trying to show him this is how big my manhood is. I'm putting it on the table. This is what I can do to you. And to do that, you hurt yourself in this trade in order to be able to do that. Now, I'm all for taking a left straight down the middle if I can get to somebody. I'm all for hurting myself if I can hurt them more, right? Except for when it comes to business. Mm-hmm. And people around you depending on you to make the smart business decision. Then I'm not for it. And this was atrocious. This was something that epitomizes, I think we actually kind of saw who Nico Harrison might be. He might be a vindictive SOB that's just out to show everybody how awesome he is. And you're going to get in line. And to think that's what's ruling our Mavericks right now, it's completely just devastating as a fan, because this isn't going to get it done in the long run. This is one of those things that can't stay long. You can't stay long at this track or you won't be doing good. And quite frankly, the trade back that you got, I'm glad that the Mavericks fans, when AD got on the court, that they cheered.
Yeah.
They welcomed him.
He didn't have anything to do with this.
He didn't have anything to do with it.
They did boo whenever Nico came into the arena.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
And they escorted fans out because of voicing their opinions. Mm-hmm. This is, I still can't get over that you took a generational talent. And by the way, this isn't a generational talent just because I say he's a generational talent.
I think everyone accepts that.
That you took him at a young age and said, you know what? You'll never get it right. We're not paying you that money. And we're going to ship you off. And you understood that. But you didn't think about it long enough. This was a whim trade. This was, hey, bud, I'm thinking about doing it. Please do this before I convince myself not to. This was on the whim trade. This wasn't thought about it long and hard. If you're going to make a deal like this, you shop. You do things right. This was done completely the wrong way. And I don't understand. I don't understand how somebody could be this type of, person in this position. Like, I can understand somebody acting like this when they're like, I don't know, at a lesser, like they've got clout, a little bit of clout, like maybe they manage their own grocery store. I can see people acting like this and managing your own grocery store. I can't see somebody managing a professional sport team and acting like this.
Right.
And somebody willing to give this guy another job. This was deplorable. This will go down worse than, say, the Portland Trailblazers, when they drafted Bowie over Jordan.
Right.
This is going to go down worse.
Well, it should. It's a worse move.
Yeah, because you didn't know. I mean, you kind of knew. You should have known.
But a lot of teams probably wouldn't have known about Jordan at the time. I get it.
There's still a little gamble involved. This, we've all seen the Luka reaction to somebody rising up at them.
Yeah.
We've seen it. It comes back millionfold. The Maverick fan will have to suffer from this because Luka will, of course, get his whatever he needs to get under control. I don't think he needs anything. I think he just needs to grow up a little bit more. He's been doing this so long that maybe he hadn't had a time to mature in the sport because he was able to get away with being like this for so long that it just ingrained into him. And I'm talking about arguing with the refs and also doing whatever he wants off the court as far as eating, smoking, blah, blah, blah. Right?
Right.
Okay. Because he can do it, and he just hasn't adjusted. There'll come a time to when he's like, I guess I have to. And when he meets that, when he finds that, then he's already a walking 30-point triple-double machine right now. What happens if he decides to, I don't know, get physically in shape? Even though I saw him come out for the Lakers in his uni, and I don't know what all the talk is about. He didn't look fat to me. So I don't understand. And I understand the people that say fire Nico, because this is something that if you were to do at your job and do something so absurdly just wrong, that you would be fired.
Right.
And to have ownership come out and be like, no, we totally agree. This is great. We want people that did you hear the line from ownership?
Yeah.
They're like, we want people like Kobe, like Jordan, like Shaq. Wait, what? Shaq never worked out in the offseason, ever.
That was a weird name to throw into that bunch.
Yeah, it's like Bird, Kobe, and then you throw Shaq in there.
Yeah.
Shaq was just a natural, awesome basketball player. By the way, so's Luka. Because if he's out of shape and all that, how's he still doing all the things he's doing on the court? Because he's completely awesome. I don't know, man. I couldn't be any more upset with something like that happening. And the other thing that upsets me is that it makes you want to not be a Mavericks fan.
Right.
And I can't let somebody take my team away. I can't let some idiot take my team away. Like if they end up in the whole conspiracy theory is correct and they end up moving to Vegas or whatever.
Right.
Okay, fine. We'll get another team.
Yeah.
Because we support a basketball team here really, really, really well. So
our viewpoints on Luka and on this, on Luka are different. And by the way, for those out there that are bashing the Mavs, that are saying I'm no longer a Mavs fan because of this, you were never a Mavs fan. You were a Luka fan, apparently. And it's different. You can be a Mavs fan, and you can be a Luka fan. And you can be a fan of both. And that's okay. But if you are saying that because of this trade, however horrible and asinine you think it was, if you are saying that you're no longer a Mavs fan because of this, then you were never a Mavs fan. You became a Luka fan at some point in his 6.5 years here. And you stopped being a Mavs fan. And you can support Luka, and you can support both still. Everything okay?
yeah, the water heater just exploded at the house.
Oh, nice. It's always good to happen. But look, you can still support Luka. For those of you that saying you became Lakers fans, that's just moronic and idiotic to say. Because that means that you're not a Mavs. You weren't a Mavs fan. You were a Luka fan. But my viewpoint on Luka, I haven't been as high on Luka as a lot of people throughout his 6.5 years here. I haven't seen him. And yes, he's a generational player. He will go down as such in the annals of the NBA and the history books. He will.
Right.
But my complaints about his game go far above and beyond just the points that he can score and the occasional assists that he hands out.
Occasional.
I look, my complaint about Luka has been the same as a lot of people's complaint that are down on his game, and it's my biggest complaint about Luka is that he doesn't make those around him better. Yes, he's a badass basketball player, top 3 individual talent in the NBA.
Okay.
I have never thought Luka made the players on the court around him better because he was on the court with them. I thought it was quite the opposite. I thought a lot of times the way Luka played offense confused some of his teammates. And a lot of times they were unsure what he was going to do. And this whole thing about him dribbling the ball till 4 seconds left on the shot clock and then taking an outlandish shot, did he make it sometimes? Yeah. And it made for a great highlight. But a lot of it I thought was unnecessary. Is Luka awesome? Yes, Luka's awesome. Did I personally think he could elevate an entire team to win a title? No. I never thought he could do that. Guys like Jordan did that. Guys like Dr. J did that. You want to talk about these generational players? Those guys, I thought, made their teammates better. Jordan made Scottie Pippen a freaking Hall of Famer.
Scottie Pippen was already going to be that.
Meh. But whatever.
He was already going to be. Well, he was at least going to be in the level like right below, like, I don't know, Clyde Drexler or something like that, right?
Probably, yes. But I just look the whole Luka thing. And you know what? I don't think he's a good fit on the Lakers either.
Well, it'll soon be his team.
Yeah, but soon enough. I mean, I look. I don't wish the Lakers to ever do well, ever.
Right.
I will wish them to do a lot better when LeBron's gone. Everybody knows how I feel about LeBron.
Right.
But look, regarding the trade though, was I okay with with them trading Luka out of town? Yes, I was completely okay if they decided they didn't want Luka, if they'd had enough of whatever they think they had enough of. If it was him not being in shape, if it was his on-court antics, his complaining to the refs, all of that. Whatever it was that they thought, we're done, great, be done. But for the love of God, can you set yourself up and your franchise up for success for maybe the next 10 years with either a haul of draft picks or, because this was technically a 3-team deal.
Yes.
Can you just get some stuff back so that we can at least, for those of us that actually are Mavs fans and not just Luka fans, that we can say, okay, cool. It may not be this year, but in the near future, we can see ourselves getting back to contend, right? With this talent or with these draft picks that we've got. You didn't get anything. You got AD for a couple of years.
You got AD.
And he's like 32 years old.
You got a first-round draft pick, and Max Christie's not a bad player.
He's not.
But that's, and you also, by the way, you sent a second round back.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that. Now, for those that are like, oh my God, I can't believe Tim just said all that stuff about Luka not making his teammates better, just understand that I disagree with just about everything he just got through saying.
And we've disagreed on that for 5 years.
And you can go ask any power forward or center that's played on this team, and they'll tell you that they got a lot better with Luka Doncic. And the rest in the rest of the team that he was surrounded by is mostly 3-and-D guys. So all they're supposed to do is stand out in the three-point line.
I understand.
And wait for Luka to drive, and then he dishes it to them, which he does. That's the reason why the triple-doubles, part of that triple-doubles is assists. We won't get into that too much, but I did have to go ahead and let you guys know that, yes, I do disagree with Tim's viewpoint there.
Of Luka and his teammates,
Luka.
right? And I will tell you this, too. Kyrie Irving. When Luka brings the ball up and when Kyrie brings the ball up, I think the Mavs are a much, much, much better team when Kyrie is handling the ball at the point than when Luka is handling the ball at the point.
Right.
Kyrie's a more natural distributor of the ball, I think, than Luka is.
I don't know about that. Also, Kyrie is really herky-jerky with a lot of his movements. It's when you say Luka's hard to read and they don't know what he's doing, I don't think Kyrie knows what he's doing as he's driving to the basket. I mean, he probably does, but that's the reason why the defense doesn't know, because he's everywhere. So if they were having trouble reading Luka and moving at Luka pace, which is the reason why in the NBA they're like, I don't know how he can get away with moving that slow.
Right.
If they can't do that, then they may not be able to read basketball. But they can. And again, you look at Nico Harrison and he gets this job, and then you see Western Conference Finals, then you see the finals, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm doing great.
Mm-hmm.
No, you weren't. You weren't doing great. Now, you added some pieces around Luka, but the person that got you to the finals, now, of course, he also didn't quite show up in the finals, but the person that got you to the finals was Luka. The person that got that team to the Western Conference Finals that year was Luka. He put the team on his back and carried them there. If you remember correctly, that Boston series, we all thought that Kyrie was going to go off. I don't remember Kyrie doing a whole lot in that Boston series either.
He didn't do anything in the Boston series. That was part of the problem.
So there was other people to blame, but it looks like it fell on Luka Doncic's shoulders. And again, with Nico, if you think you're just going to go back every year with trades like this, you're not sniffing that place again. And all of us Mavericks fans that are here, that wants ownership, these new rich guys that obviously don't know to, like Riggs said when he left out Dirk in the greatness players list that Lucas should emulate. Mm-hmm. That was tone deaf, by the way. That was very tone deaf. Just like the press conference, I know I'm all over the place. I feel like I am a monkey with a machine gun right now because there's so much that I'm mad about that I just can't quite focus.
Right.
But holy crap, dude. Did you hear the press conference right after? Not right after, but when he finally addressed the situation and just how tone deaf that was? Mm-hmm. Like he didn't know that he effectively kicked all of Dallas Mavericks fans directly in the smalls.
I don't think they expected the backlash.
How could you not?
I don't know. I'm just saying there's no way they expected this backlash. And look, as far as Nico Harrison goes, pretty much everything he's done up until this point has been amazing.
It's been good.
All of their trades. If you go back and look at his trade history, even this season, he's responsible for a lot of good shit that's happened here.
Yeah.
And to just throw it all out and to disregard everything because of this, I think is very short-sighted by fans. Look, again, I'm not a fan of the trade that was made. You should have got a much bigger haul back. They had to know this going into it. And from what we've heard, they didn't really explore all their options in trading Luka. This was a very short-sighted, very not well thought out process on their part.
It sounds like he traded Luka over some margaritas.
Yeah.
It's what it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I would have done. But all in all, Nico's tenure here has been very, very successful.
And that's one way to drop your pants and crap all over it, too.
And because of this, because of what we're seeing, and I think you agree, there has to be more to all of this than what we're seeing and what we know about. There has to have been some contention somewhere between Nico or the organization or their governor. I didn't know we had a governor for the Mavericks. I didn't know that was a thing until this trade happened.
Okay.
And Luka or Kid and Luka or something has happened to generate enough animosity for them to completely screw Luka out of $120 million
right
on his next deal and to not care. Because the way they went about this in secret, they didn't give any Fs when they were putting this deal together. And they definitely didn't care about Luka because if you trade somebody, a player that you're have a good relationship with, I don't care if it's your star or not, you bring them into your office and you go, hey, here's what's happening. Appreciate you very much. Here's why we did it. See you down the road.
Yeah, you business talk him.
You don't do what they did, which was nothing. And then you make them cry. And again, everybody knows how I feel about Luka. I'm okay to see him go. But for the love of God, can we get something back? But you know what's funny, Colby? All these people that are leaving their Mavericks fandom and leaving their Mavericks fan cards in the trash, I am much more interested in the Mavericks now.
Because of the hurt that's going on? You're just wanting to see more of the train wreck?
I'm watching more. I've watched 2 games already. I never watched 2 games the last 10 years.
Wow.
And you know what I'm not watching? Lakers games, because I don't care.
Oh, no. As soon as they said Luka was starting, I was watching that game.
No, I'm out. Because I don't care about the freaking Lakers. And you know what? I'll make a prediction. Here you go. Are you ready? It is Wednesday, February 12th, 7:26 p.m. Central Time. The Lakers will never win a title with Luka. Boom. Said it. I'm out there.
Internets.
Said it. So there you go.
You know what? I've heard you say dumber things. I've heard you say dumber
I
things.
also said they missed the playoffs last year.
Right.
They almost did.
And they almost did, but then
they didn't.
no. Then they didn't.
And then they went really far.
Yeah.
They almost missed the playoffs, though. They had to go on a 16-2 run at the end of the season to make the playoffs. So there you go.
Then they did.
But look, and you have to think that this wasn't just Nico, right?
No, that's the thing. All the insiders are pointing to this was just Nico.
But it can't. I mean, you got to get owner approval for any trade.
I don't think he needs it.
You think he just has that ability to?
I think once Dumont saw that all of this was going on, he probably was like,
"What does he do? What does the governor do?"
I don't know. I don't know what the Texas governor does, Tim. How am I supposed to know?
Oh, he runs the damn state. But
does he?
I don't know. He can't even walk. How well can he run a state?
So no, I don't know what he does, but apparently they're looking at this thing to make money or something. That's the other scuttlebutt is that they were like, "Hey, no, we don't want to pay this money because, well, we just don't want it. It'll put us in some other like luxury tax,
the luxury tax BS that the NBA has,
a second tier, second skirt. I don't know what apron.
They just want a casino.
Second apron. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I mean, my brain starts to turn off as soon as somebody mentions finances anyway. So it irritates me to the point to think that might have been a point of it. So I'd rather just focus on how stupid Nico was.
Right.
Because if you're starting to say that the ownership or the governor, which I don't know how hard it is to fire your governor, but
what the hell does he do?
I don't know, but it's got to be harder than to fire the GM.
Well, his job's not in jeopardy.
No, apparently nobody's job's in jeopardy because everybody's just, this is great. We just need you to stop being hateful, Mavs fans.
Dude, and everyone is losing their minds.
And, like, stop with the death threats and things. Hey, man, I hate to point this out to people. And, by the way, it's not cool. I mean, it is just a game situation. But I just want to point this out to the people that are, like, appalled at this. Have you seen the internet?
Paul?
Have you seen the internet lately?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, people make like death threats all the stupid time on that thing. So it used to be like if you were to commit a crime, you might do a smash and grab. But we've now reached the point to where we're doing a shoot and loot. All right. So we have upgraded in our willingness to threaten violence. So now it's not, I'm going to punch you in the face. Now it's, I'm going to go ruin your whole timeline.
Yeah.
So your whole family tree, right?
Yep.
So to be thinking how weird it is that there's death threats issued, man, there's crazy MFers out there, okay?
Over basketball.
Dude, over worse, over less.
Over less, I'm aware.
It's happened. So, and this is affecting people's, some of them, their whole life revolves around this. I mean, ours kind of revolve around sports a little bit.
A little bit, but I can't, look, and I'm pretty passionate about some of my sports.
Right.
I cannot imagine ever getting so caught up in something like this to get that emotional over it.
Right.
To where I'm even, look, and I get, go burn your Mavs gear. I get it. That's your right. You paid for it.
Yep.
Go protest. Go get your picket sign and go protest outside the AAC. That is great. If that's what you want to do with your time and you care that much about what happened, please go do that. That is your right, right? We can do that. But don't start threatening someone's life over something like this. That is the most ridiculous reaction to something.
That is the most ridiculous action. That's also kind of symbolizes maybe what you've seen a couple times when you've done an overnight trip to Walmart.
Oh, my God.
Okay? You know?
I agree.
I mean, there's decisions that were made before they entered that store, and they probably weren't the brightest.
Didn't think them through.
Didn't think them through. So a lot of these
We've
threats,
all been there.
Yeah.
Colby, walking to Walmart in my underwear.
Mm-hmm.
But look, the bottom line here is that something in the 422 career games that Luka played in a Dallas Mavericks uniform, they must have figured out something. We don't like this. We don't like that. So we're done.
Right.
And that's their right as the people who run the team. But my biggest complaint about all of this, could you not have gotten more back?
No, you could. That's
And we know they could have, right? We've had
Yes.
league NBA GMs come out anonymously and said, I'd have given 3 number ones for Luka.
right. And our best
player.
Yeah.
And we didn't get that, Colby.
No, we didn't get that. We sure didn't. That's irritating. That is completely.
So it begs the
irritating.
question, who wins a championship first, the Mavericks or the Cowboys?
You know what? You know who really likes this?
Stars and the Rangers.
Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
He is
Some of the pressure off him.
He's no longer the worst GM in the DFW.
I would not be surprised to see him wearing a Mavericks hat, like around I almost said Valley Ranch, around the Star. Valley Ranch, wow.
Wow.
That's a throwback. I'm old.
Yes, you are, Tim. Yes, you are.
So, Colby, we've got a few minutes here before we got to take our first break. Do you want to get into a little Cowboys?
Sure, why not?
As the Cowboys are still kind of the laughingstock of the NFL.
Are they?
I mean, I think so. Although Kellen Moore has a new home. We haven't talked Super Bowl. You want to get into Super Bowl and your Eagles?
No,
your favorite
I don't-
team?
No, I don't. And we will get into, by the way, the Super Bowl movie trailer commercials, then mystery shotgun. So that is something to talk about. The Super Bowl is not something I want to talk about because that was lame. Nobody wants to see the Eagles win another championship. That was just
So you realize that
most of the nation was rooting for the Eagles.
were they?
Yeah,
That was their
because it was
protest.
the anti Kansas City Chiefs Taylor Swiftism.
Well, and I might have been on board with that if it wasn't the Eagles.
Right.
Like literally any other team. This wasn't as bad as the Eagles Patriots Super Bowl that I vowed not to watch, but of course I did.
Right.
As I wore a New England Patriots hat watching the Super Bowl. It's probably why they lost.
Mm-hmm.
But look, I like Patrick Mahomes. I like the Chiefs. I'm sick of the Travis Kelce, what's her face, Taylor Swift storyline. I'm done with that, and I'm glad we don't have to pay attention to that.
Probably
anymore.
the only person in the world that ever had to go, what's her name?
I can't remember. So you realize now Patrick Mahomes 3-2 in Super Bowls.
He's been to 5 of them.
Been to 5, and he's not 30 yet.
Right.
And everybody's saying, will he catch Tom Brady? Will he take over the GOAT? Do you realize the 2 Super Bowls that he has lost? This is how much power Tom Brady has as the GOAT. The 2 Super Bowls Patrick Mahomes has lost. He played against Brady because it was the Bucs Brady Super Bowl. And then Brady was broadcasting the other one.
You think the power of Brady being there?
Yes.
All right.
The 3 that he won, Brady was nowhere in the building.
Well, there you go.
Brady has that much power. He doesn't even have to play, and he can say, you know what, Patrick, not today. This is my game.
Yeah, you're never catching me.
And he won't. This is the same. Look, for those of you that follow golf, this was the same argument that we had when Tiger Woods was a young buck, and everybody thought he was going to catch Jack Nicklaus's 18 majors. Well, Tiger got to 15, and that's where he'll stop because his career is basically over.
Until he wins the next one,
And he won't. Excited. He won't. And you know what? Mahomes probably has another Super Bowl, maybe 2 in him. The problem is, will it be in Kansas City? I mean, Reed's 140 years old. He's probably going to retire soon. And by the way, that makes Andy Reid 3-3 now in Super Bowls.
So he's been to 6 of them.
And he's lost half of them.
I don't care. Take me to 6 of them and lose half of them. I'm fine with it.
And what's funny is I didn't hear the storyline the entire time about Andy Reid versus his old team in the Super Bowl. I didn't hear any of that like I did the first time.
Right.
When they played. That was all anybody talked about. But now I guess it's been so long or they already beat him once, like, whatever.
Well, they can't imagine the Kool-Aid man wearing green.
Oh, yeah. By the way, how punchable is Nick Sirianni still?
Very.
Pretty punchable, isn't he?
Very, very punchable.
For the love of God. Colby, if you want, we can take a break a little bit early, and we'll have some more time for our mystery shotgun, and for good, bad, and ugly.
Well, we can, but I would like to say, because we haven't got to talk about it, all the coaching hires for the Dallas Cowboys that have gone on. Not just, but your Well,
your whole staff, huh?
Your whole staff has been lined up, and I have to tell you guys, I'm not trying to blow smoke, but I kind of like the staff.
I'm not mad.
I like catching the dude from Arizona. I told you that's who I wanted.
You did. You said that.
And
I said, who?
I don't mind your, quote, passing game coordinator is Ken Dorsey. I don't mind
I'm excited
that.
about that.
Especially when you're going through shoddy style of offense, which we believe is run the ball, play action, pass off of that.
Yeah, as long as Dorsey's not running the offense or calling plays, then I don't really care what he does.
Right.
Because he sucks at both of those things.
But I wouldn't mind his input on making routes a little better and such like that. I think.
I mean, he played quarterback at a high level.
I think that would be amazing. I love Eberflus.
Yeah, I got no problem with the defense. I actually probably would rather have Eberflus than Zim.
Right.
I just never thought in a million years Eberflus would ever work for the Cowboys again because of the way he left.
And here he's back.
And here he is. Money talks.
And then special teams. Special teams looks good.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Bones Fossil moving on to that Tennessee. Although, I hear he's going to try to snatch up Brandon Aubrey.
Well, he can try.
You got to trade for him because he's under contract.
Yeah, you can
How
try.
How crazy would that be? Hey, y'all want Brandon Aubrey? We want a first rounder for a kicker.
That Jerry would come in with like the greatest trade ever. It's like, well, you see that Dallas Mavericks trade? Look what I did.
Holy crap, that would be funny.
So,
but the question is, can they be worse than 7-10 next season? I think yes. There is an avenue to a 5-12 season next year.
There is. Now your schedule will help you out a little bit because you have a lesser schedule.
Yep.
Depends on what they do in the draft. I'd love to see first or second round, probably second round the way it's going. But first round, I'd love to see a running back.
In the first round?
Go ahead. Because
who do you want that would go in the first round at running back?
There's a couple of guys.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I'm thinking. I mean, is Genty going to go in the first round? I don't think so.
Or
Travion from Ohio State, Travion Williams.
I mean, Genty maybe or top of the second, but I think you don't get to him by your second round pick
because you're picking 12th, right?
Yeah,
which means. Wait, do they have? Yeah, they have a second round, right? I know they've dumped some. But yeah, so if you got to wait again until like 45 or 46, wherever you pick,
then he's not going to be there.
He won't be there then.
Either that or just go get the scatterbow. Well, we need to take a break because I'm getting a call again.
Scataboo. All right. We are the Colby Sapp IndyCarTim show right here on FanStream Sports. We're going to come back with our world-famous Good, Bad, and the Ugly, our celebrity birthday segment, followed by Colby's thoughts on the Super Bowl commercials for the movie trailers. We're going to talk about all that here on the Colby Sapp IndyCarTim show right here on FanStream Sports. We'll be back.
Hello, sports fans. FanStream Sports.
Today's show is brought to you by Tom's Town, a premier craft distillery based in Kansas City, Missouri. Discover their award-winning lineup, including double oaked bourbon, botanical gin, and double grain vodka. Named the best craft vodka by the readers of USA Today. Available for online delivery in 40 states. Visit toms-town.com or their Kansas City distillery to explore more. Elevate your game with Tom's Town, where history meets innovation. Please enjoy responsibly.
All right, guys, time to talk a little bit about Turf Life. You've seen the hats on our heads. You've been or seen the video of the studio. You've seen that the decals are all over the place. Turf Life. Man, it's the brand that salutes the consumer and industry players everywhere whose lives involve turf. What does that mean? That means if you play or have a business or, maybe you're a sports educator, you're going to be on turf at some point. So you live the turf life. So go ahead and tell everybody you live the turf life by having your Turf Life window decal or, the hat or the keychain or the something. Along that lines, just go to turflifeclub.com and become a turf head. That's what it's called when you live the turf life. You're now a turf head. And you can go join the club today and snag that window decal or snag any other special Turf Life accessories and go over there to that website, which is turflifeclub.com, and get your stuff and show everybody that man, I'm all about that turf life. And then you just kind of raise your coffee mug at them and go, yeah, turf life, baby. That's what it's about. And then that's the end of the commercial. Ding. That means it's done in microwave talk.
Hi, golfers. IndyCarTim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything. Turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.